Hi students, welcome to Sunil's tutorial. I'm Sunil Mirwani and today we'll be doing this chapter called as probability. Let's see this. They've given you that take on some things. There are 25 tickets bearing numbers. There are 25 tickets bearing numbers from 1 to 25. There are 25 tickets bearing numbers from 1 to 25. There are 25 tickets bearing numbers from 1 to 25. One ticket is drawn at random. One ticket is drawn at random. Find the probability that find the probability that find the probability that the number on the ticket is find the probability that the number on the ticket is a multiple of 5 or divisible by 6, a multiple of 5 or 6, a multiple of 5 or 6. Second part of the question, divisible by 3 or a perfect square. Divisible by 3 or a perfect square. Now let's see this. There are 25 tickets numbered from 1 to 25. So n of s is going to be equal to 25. Now, event A, they are saying multiple of 5. Event B, they are saying multiple of 5 or 6. Multiple of 6, right? Now, let's see this. They've asked you to find out the probability that it is a multiple of 5 or a multiple of 6. That is multiple of 5 plus multiple of 6 minus multiple of 5 intersection 6. Okay. Now let's see this. Whenever they say or, you have to use addition theorem. Yes.
But you have given that in event A only multiple of 5 or 6.
The first condition. I want to find out whether the ticket drawn is a multiple of 5 or 6. So you consider them separately. I'll consider one event to be multiple of 5, the other to be multiple of 6. Now, probability of an event is number of elements in that event upon sample space. Number of elements in that event upon sample space. Number of elements in that event upon sample space. Now, between 1 to 25, how many multiple of 5 are there? There are 5 numbers, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Total number of tickets are 25. Multiples of 6, 4, 6, 12, 18, 24. There are 4. Right? Is there anything common between them? 5, 10, 15, 25, 6, 12, 18, 24, nothing. There's nothing common between them. So the answer is going to be 9 by 25. Right? So that's how you find out whether the ticket drawn is a multiple of 5 or 6. Second part of the question, divisible by 3 or perfect square. Event C, divisible by 3. Event D, perfect square. Right? So probability of C or D is probability of C plus probability of D minus probability of C intersection D. Right? Now, this is going to be number of elements in C upon number of elements in sample space plus number of elements in D upon number of elements in sample space minus number of elements in C intersection D upon number of elements in sample space. Now, divisible by 3. Which are the numbers from 1 to 25 which are divisible by 3? There are 8 numbers, that is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 and 24. There are 8 numbers which are divisible by 3 between 1 to 25. Perfect square. Which are the perfect square? 1, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Now, is there anything common between them?
9.
9 is common, right? So there's one term that is going to be common between them. So this is going to be 12 by 25, right? That finishes that sum. Let's move on to the next sum, guys. Take down. 2 fair dice are thrown. 2 fair dice are thrown. Find the probability that find the probability that the sum of the scores on the upper face is first part of the question, a perfect square or a prime number. A perfect square or a prime number. Second part of the question, less than 4 or an odd number. Less than 4 or an odd number. Less than 4 or an odd number. Now let's see this. 2 dice are thrown. S be equal to sample space. Now, if 2 dice are thrown, the various alternatives that you have, the various outcomes that you have are these: 1 5 1 6, then 2 1 2 2, 2 3 2 4, 2 5 2 6, 3 1 3 2 3 3, 3 4 3 5 3 6, 4 1 4 2 4 3, 4 4 4 5 4 6, 5 1 5 2 5 3, 5 4 5 5 5 6, 6 1 6 2 6 3 6 4 6 5 6 6. Right? Now the number of elements in sample space are 36. Event A. They are saying that sum of the scores is a perfect square. Now, which are the perfect square? 1 though I cannot get because I want sum of the scores. So that means the only numbers that will be perfect square are 4, 9, because the next one is 25. The maximum addition that I can get is 12 here. And the other part of the question is that perfect square or a prime number. Prime number. Which are the prime numbers? The maximum addition is 12. So prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Right? Now, probability of A union B is probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B, which is nothing but number of elements in A upon number of elements in S plus number of elements in B upon number of elements in S minus number of elements in A intersection B upon number of elements in S. Right? A, 4 and 9. The addition should be 4 and 9. Let's start counting, guys. This is 4, right? Then this is 4, this is 4, this is 9, this is 9, this is 9, this is 9, right? So how many alternatives I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The next part they are saying is that perfect square. The addition should be 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. Someone do the counting, guys. 2, then you have 3, then you have 5, and then you have 7, right? Then you have another 3, 5, 7, right? You put a dot for them. 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay. Then you have 5, 7. That's it. Then you have 5, 7. Then you have 7, 11. Then you have 7, 11. So these are the numbers. Someone count how many numbers are these? This is 15. So 15 by 25. Is there anything common? No. The dots and the dashes are not, there's nothing common in them.
So it's 36. 15 by 36.
Yeah. 0 by 25, 15 by 36. In all the cases it's going to be 36. There are 36 elements in the sample space, right? So in that case, this is going to be 22 by 36. That's 11 by 18, right? Second part of the question, that it is less than 4 or an odd number. Less than 4 or an odd number. Event C, less than 4. Event D, odd number. Right? Number, probability of C union D is probability of C plus probability of D minus probability of C intersection D. Number of elements in C upon number of elements in S plus number of elements in D upon number of elements in S minus number of elements in C intersection D upon number of elements in S. Now, less than 4. Less than 4. 2, 3, 2 numbers here. Less than 4. 1 number here. That's it. So there are only 3 elements which are less than 4. Plus, next part we are saying that odd number. There are going to be 18 odd numbers because there are total 36. So every second number is going to be an odd number. So odd number, there are going to be 18 odd numbers. Now, common. Let's see what is common between them. 1, 2 is common and 2, 1 is also common. There are 2 terms that are common between them. So in that case, this is going to be 19 by 36. Right? So the probability is going to be 19 by 36. Let's move on ahead to the next one. In a class of 100 students, 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 60 drink tea, 50 drink coffee, and 30 drink both. And 30 drink both. Find the probability that the student takes. Find the probability that the student takes first part of the question, at least one of the 2 drinks. Second part of the question, only one of the 2 drinks. Only one of the 2 drinks. Now, guys, when you have to do this, you do it with the help of Venn diagram. You start from inside to outside. 30 drink both. Okay. Total they have said that 60 drink tea. 30 drink both, out of which 30 I have written here. So how much should be here? 30. That's how I'll get 60. Similarly, they are saying that 50 drink coffee, out of which 30 is here. So 20 is going to be here. 30 and 30, 60, 60 and 20, 80. That means 20 do not drink any of the drink. Now, the first part of the question, at least one of the 2 drinks. Probability of at least one of the 2 drinks. At least one of the 2 drinks. These are ones who drink at least one of the 2 drinks. At least one of the 2 drinks. At least one of the 2 drinks. There are 80 out of total of 100. That's 4 by 5. Next part of the question. Only one of the 2 drinks. only one of the two drinks. These are the ones who drink only tea. These are the ones who drink only coffee. So there are 50 who drink only one of the two drinks. That's 1 by 2. Right? Take our next up, please. Probability of A is 4 by 5. Probability of B is 3 by 5. Probability of A when B has occurred is 5 by 6. And you have to find probability of B when A has occurred and probability of A union B. Now what do you mean by this? See, let's assume that I have a pack of cards. If I draw a king from a pack, what is the probability of getting a king from a pack of cards? There are 4 kings, there are total 52 cards. So the probability of getting a king from a pack of cards is 4 by 52. Let's assume I draw that card and keep it aside. Now I draw another card and it is king. What is the probability that this will be a king? 3 by 51. Why will it not be 4 by 52? Because before this an event has occurred, as a result of which the probability of the second event has changed. That is called as conditional probability. What is the probability of the second event occurring when the first event has already occurred? And this is how we write it. If the two events are A and B, what is the probability that A occurs when B has already occurred? Right? And we write it as a division sign. Now what is the formula for conditional probability? This is called as conditional probability. Formula is probability of A intersection B is, suppose if I write probability of B into probability of A when B has occurred. Right? If there is a B here, the easier way of remembering it is the B should be in the denominator here. So probability of B we know is 3 by 5. Probability of A when B has occurred is 5 by 6. So this is going to be 1 by 2. Right? Next, I can also say that probability of A intersection B is probability of A. If I am writing A here, that means this will be probability of B when A has occurred. A intersection B you just found out is 1 by 2. Probability of A is 4 by 5. So you can find out probability of B when A has occurred. Cross multiply. 5 upon 8 is probability of B when A has occurred. Right? This is cross multiplied. So it is always intersection is an event and the other event when the first has occurred. Okay. Now how do I find out A union B? I can find out A union B by using addition formula. Probability of A union B is probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So A union B is probability of A 4 by 5 plus probability of B is 3 by 5 minus probability of A intersection B. A intersection B we found out is 1 by 2. You can do your calculation and get this answer. Right? You should be able to get this answer. Take on next one please. A and B are independent events. A and B are independent events. A and B are independent events such that probability of A union B is 0.8, probability of A intersection B is 0.3. Find probability of A and probability of B. Now, let us assume that probability of A is X and probability of B is Y. Right? Now, What do you mean by independent event? Independent events are those events where the occurrence or non-occurrence of one does not affect the other, right? In simple language, for independent events, probability of A intersection B is nothing but probability of A into probability of B. What are independent events? These are those events where the occurrence of one does not affect the other, right? So I can say that probability of A intersection B is 0.3 is x into y. Therefore I can say y is 0.3 upon x, right? Now I can use addition formula. P of A union B is P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. P of A x, P of B y, P of A intersection B. P of A intersection B is 0.3 and P of A union B is 0.8. Take this on the other side, so I'll get 0.8 plus 0.3 is x plus y. Y can be written as 0.3 upon x, so you'll get 1.1 is x square plus 0.3 upon x. X into x is x square. 1.1x is x square plus 0.3. Therefore, I can say x square minus 1.1x plus 0.3 is 0.
Yes.
Right? Now, in order to get rid of the decimals, multiply by 10. Multiply by 10, I'll get 10x square minus 11x plus 3 is 0. Right? Now, let's solve the quadratic. I have 10 3 the 30,
Minus
6
6
5 the
minus 5.
minus 6 minus 5. So 10x square minus 6x minus 5x plus 3 is 0. So in which case you could take 2 common here. So 2x common here. So you'll get 5x minus 3 minus 1. 5x minus 3 is 0. 2x minus 1. 5x minus 3 is 0. 2x minus 1. So x is going to be equal to 1 by 2 or x is equal to 3 by 5. Right? Once you have this, if x is 1 by 2, automatically, if x is 1 by 2, then I can say therefore y will be 0.3 upon 1 by 2. Right? So that is 0.6. Which is nothing but 6 upon 10, which is nothing but 3 upon 5. So if x is 1 by 2, then y will be 3 upon 5, vice versa. If x is 3 by 5, then y will be 0.3 upon 3 by 5. So which is going to be nothing but 0.1 into 5. That's 0.5, which is nothing but 5 upon 10, which is nothing but 1 by 2. Right? Take on next sum, please. Probability of A is 0.6. Probability of B is 0.5. Probability of A intersection B is 0.4. You have to find out probability of A complement intersection B complement, then probability of A intersection B complement, and probability of A complement union B. Right? Here you have to use something called as De Morgan's theorem. Now before that, I'll have to first use the addition theorem. I can say by addition theorem, P of A union B is nothing but P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. So in which case you will get 0.6 plus 0.5 minus 0.4, 11, 7, right? So you will get this as 0.7. Now let's start applying De Morgan's theorem. So what does De Morgan's theorem state? It states that wherever there is a complement, remove the complement, and wherever there is no complement, put complement. For example, they've asked you to find out P of A complement union B complement. Right? No, P of A complement intersection B complement. Now, if I apply De Morgan's theorem says that wherever there is a complement, remove the complement. It was A complement, so I'll make it as A. It is B complement, so I'll make it as B. And outside the bracket, there is no complement, so you will put complement. Wherever there is complement, remove the complement. Wherever there is no complement, you put your complement. As per De Morgan's theorem, intersection changes to union, union changes to intersection. So P of A complement intersection B complement will be nothing but P of A union B the whole complement. In order to remove whole complement, how do you do this? P of A union B the whole complement is 1 minus P of A union B. When you have a whole bracket complement, to remove that, it is 1 minus the given element. We already know P of A union B to be 0.7. So 1 minus 0.7, that's 0.3. Next part of the question, they have asked you to find out P of A intersection B complement. Right? Now, I can say that P of A is nothing but P of A intersection B plus P of A intersection B complement. B and B complement cancel. So in that case, I can therefore say that P of A is P of A intersection B plus P of A intersection B complement. Now P of A, the value of P of A we have already found out is 0.6. A intersection B is 0.4 plus P of A intersection B complement. So I'll get 0.2 is P of A intersection B complement. Right? Next, the third part of the question. P of A complement union B. Apply De Morgan's theorem to this. If I apply De Morgan's theorem, this will be P of A intersection B complement, the whole complement. In order to remove whole complement, this will be 1 minus P of A intersection B complement. But we just found out P of A intersection B complement to be 0.2. So 1 minus 0.2, that is 0.8. Right? Next, take our next sum please. A problem is given to 3 students. A problem is given to 3 students A, B, C. A problem is given to 3 students A, B, C, whose chances of solving it are 1 by 2, sorry, not 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4 and 1 by 5. A problem is given to 3 students whose chances of solving it are 1 by 3, 1 by 4 and 1 by 5. Find the probability that the problem is solved. Find the probability that the problem is solved if they try independently. Find the probability that the problem is solved if they try independently. Probability of A is 1 by 3. So probability of A complement is nothing but 1 minus probability of A. So 1 minus 1 by 3, that is 2 by 3. So probability that A solves the problem is 1 by 3. So probability that he does not solve the problem is 2 by 3. Fine, do we get this thing clear? Probability that B solves the problem is 1 by 4 given to you. Probability that B does not solve the problem is 1 minus P of B. So this is going to be 1 minus 1 by 4, that is 3 by 4. Probability that C solves the problem is 1 by 5. So probability that C does not solve the problem is 1 minus 1 by C, that is 1 minus 1 by 5, 4 by 5. Probability that nobody solves the problem. Nobody solves the problem means A does not solve the problem and is written as multiplication, and B does not solve the problem and C does not solve the problem. So probability that A does not solve the problem, yeah, A does not solve the problem is 2 by 3. Probability that B does not solve the problem, 3 by 4. Probability that C does not solve the problem, 4 by 5, which is nothing but 2 by 5. Now, when will the problem be solved? The problem will be solved when at least one of them solves the problem. Probability that problem is solved is 1 minus probability that nobody solves the problem. Probability of at least one is 1 minus probability of none. Probability of at least one is 1 minus probability of none. 1 minus probability of none is 2 by 5, which is nothing but 3 by 5. So probability that the problem gets solved is going to be nothing but 3 by 5, right? Take down next sum, please. Husband and wife appear for an interview. Husband and wife appear for an interview for 2 vacancies. Probability that husband is selected is 1 by 7. Probability that wife is selected is 1 by 5. Find the probability that probability that husband is selected is 1 by 7, probability that wife is selected is 1 by 5. Find the probability that, first part of the question, both are selected. Second part of the question, only one of them is selected. First part of the question, both are selected. Second part of the question, only one of them is selected. Third part of the question, none of them is selected. Third part of the question, none of them is selected. Fourth part of the question, at least one of them is selected. Probability that husband is selected is 1 by 7. Probability that husband is not selected is 1 minus probability that husband is selected. So this is going to be 1 minus 1 by 7, that is 6 by 7. Probability that wife is selected is 1 by 5. So probability that wife is not selected is 1 minus probability that wife is selected, that is 4 by 5. Right? Now, find the probability that, first part of the question, both selected. Both selected means husband is selected and wife is selected. Both are selected means husband is selected as well as wife is selected. Husband is selected is 1 by 7, wife is selected is 1 by 5. So probability that both are selected is 1 by 35. Second part of the question, only one of them is selected. probability that only one is selected. Only one is selected, that means husband is selected and multiplication, wife is not selected, or husband is not selected and wife is selected. Only one. Here only the husband gets selected, here only the wife gets selected. So only one is selected means husband is selected and wife is not selected, or husband is not selected and wife is selected. Husband is selected 1 by 7. Wife is not selected 4 by 5. Husband is not selected 6 by 7. Wife is selected 1 by 5. So you can do your calculation and get that answer. Next, third, none is selected. None is selected. None is selected, that means husband is not selected and wife is not selected. None is selected means both husband and wife both are not selected. Husband is not selected is 1 by 7. No, husband is not selected is 6 by 7 and wife is not selected is 4 by 5. Right? So this is 24 by 35. Probability that at least one is selected. Probability that at least one is selected. Right? At least one is selected is 1 minus none. Probability of at least one is 1 minus probability of none. We just found out probability of none from there. 1 minus 24 by 35. 35, 24, 34, 35, 11 by 35. So that will be the probability that at least one is selected. Fine, do we get this thing clear? Okay, we'll stop this here for the day. Thank you very much.